when you get to the mid game and the late game, there's a lot happening in TVZ. I do agree with that. But I think PvP has one of the stronger early game identities. So really, for me, PvP has the most potential to have those games where it's super clutch in the beginning, very interesting in the mid game, and then really epic in the late game, you know? Because I think most of us agree that some of the best games in history are games that start off with like a cheese. Then they get really weird to call. Then there's the display of mechanical mastery afterwards, right? So the 2 racks into the Ling run by, into the Marine drop with the, you know. And I think PvP has the most potential for that because so many of its stages have so much importance. But anyways, top right Geralt, bottom left Skillous. Your matchups now are infinitely better than Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. Yes. I was thinking about TVT. I think TVT got a bad rep in early stages because there was so much of it. Excuse me, there's so much of it. And people were just bad. You know, TVT at one point, they're talking like Kulas Ravine or some shit. And it's like, we're both on one base. We have 2 tanks, 16 Marines, and 2 medevacs that don't have boost. We're gonna move out. We're gonna meet in the middle. We're gonna have the least action-packed engagement we possibly could have. And then the game is over. So there is that. But I do think that TVT had a lot of really good games. Pretty much 2011, 12, and onwards. And, you know, I would actually say that TVT, when it was mech versus bio, when they were both equally valid, I think it was also a really good era for TVT. So I don't, you know, in that regard, I feel like it's maybe not the best right now. Weirdly enough. But that era when both were equally viable and it didn't just descend into super boring, you know, turtle versus turtle, air versus air. I mean, I don't think it lasted very long. So there's that. But PvP is 100% better than what it was, and ZVZ is 100% better than what it was. PvP had 4-gate versus 4-gate, and then it also had Colossus versus Colossus, and that was also terrible. Rain made it look like an art form, but it was one of the most boring art forms ever. Like watching paint dry. That someone was better at watching paint dry. We have another little cute pylon block on the Nexus. Geralt did this versus 4-2 in their first game. On this map, too, I think. 2 Adepts get blocked out. Don't have a chance against 3 Stalkers. Skillous did make 1 Adept. Just literally 1 Adept. To get a little bit of scouting by the looks of things. That's interesting. That's a change. And then Skillous isn't so worried about getting a lot of scouting information as he is the one going for a faster Stargate or faster technology, and that technology is a Stargate. So he's going to be able to get that scouting. If Geralt was doing the same thing, then that might be a little bit awkward. But Skillous sees the Nexus timing and knows that if it is a Stargate, it's going to be coming in later. Ancient Casual, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Adept gets into the main against 1 shield battery, so I'm even surprised the probes are bothering to do anything right now. Well, either way, the shield battery energy was going to be drained by the Adepts. The question was, drained enough so the Oracle could do more damage? Answer, no. The shield battery lasted long enough. But with, you know, wombo combo of Adept and Oracle, it could have been a little dicier. It really wasn't. Second Oracle is on the way, though, and that will pierce through the shield battery. If that is eventually Skillous' plan. Skillous goes back into building probes back at home ASAP, because he does need to catch up on a Nexus. And needs to catch up on a Twilight Council. So, you know, we're talking about a couple of very important deficits right now for Skillous. So he needs to get some damage done. Currently using the second Oracle as a combat unit. So that's an interesting call. It used up a lot of its energy already, also a lot of its health too, so it can't really dive towards that main base, and it seems like it's a matter of time before Geralt can hold. He's gonna need to invest into a couple of extra units, when usually you might be trying to hold off on that and getting your third Nexus now, but you're under pressure. You build the extra Stalker, you push it away, and then you also do defend against the Oracle, so much better here. So Skillous might be delaying a third Nexus or a Forge or something. It's, still hasn't done the actual direct damage. Little bit. Oh, one of the Oracles does get destroyed. So a couple of probes here and there, and 4 right then and there. Geralt has fallen behind by 7 workers. So that is good. That is good. And then Skillous misrallies his Nexus by the looks of things. Whoops, it isn't. He's getting double shield battery back at home as he realizes that maybe he poked the bear. Maybe he's a little low on those Stalkers. Geralt's going to try and take advantage of that. But with no Warp Prism, you know that this is temporary anyways. I mean, if there are no shield batteries and Skillous was down 3 or 4 Stalkers, okay, yeah, maybe that still ends the game, but that is incredibly unlikely. At the end of the day, Skillous didn't even really need the second one. But all he's scouted so far is, you know, Blink has been done, a third gateway was added, and no Forge. So, while Geralt was under some pressure, there's clear signs here that Geralt is also going to need to do, is one thing to do some return damage. So Skillous took that seriously. 2 shield batteries to cover the time from the makeup for the Stalker count. Now he's ahead in the Stalker count. And now Geralt is going to look towards a third Nexus. Eventually, though, he did actually add a 4th gateway, a Robo, and a Dark Shrine. All before getting to that third Nexus. So Skillous, I think maybe now is time to get third Nexus for him. Yeah, he's gonna get one now. Robo is coming in, so that Dark Shrine will not just end the game. And then Skillous also did warp in. Okay, he's gonna use this proxy pylon. It was made recently, so that makes sense. But he's also gonna be able to afford to go for a third Nexus. So this just seems like it's a victory no matter what for Skillous, doesn't it? He's still up 7 workers. He gets a cancel on the third Nexus. He's gonna have observers for the DTs. He has more army supply. Yeah, there's nothing going wrong for Skillous, is there? Absolutely nothing. Geralt has taken all the damage, and while there was a little blip in the army supply, it was not it's not utilized. Geralt could not do anything with the temporary lead in army supply. And now he's just kind of desperately hoping the Dark Shrine does damage. Was when medevacs could pick up siege tanks? No, that was the best time. Shut up. Subscribing for cats. Oh, that's fine. That's fair. So 2 DTs have been warped in. Did Skillous see this? An observer just popped out, I believe. So I don't know if he actually saw the blurs or just is coincidentally deciding, you know what, time to go home, but he didn't body block the DTs, which, yeah, I'm gonna say he didn't see them, because that would have been a really cool move. Imagine if he body blocked and the observer matches up with the Stalkers at that exact moment. That would have been sick. But regardless, he still is totally fine. Gotta wait for charge, Warp Prism. Chronos +1 might be able to hit with that too. And then his next attack should be a doozy. Unless the DTs add lots of damage. They will not. They 100% will freaking not. Okay, this is terrible news for Geralt. Who, by the way, knows he's behind. So he's going to try and go into the robotic space. He's going to try and get a couple of disruptors, keep himself alive. But Skillous is already moving out, man. The only hesitation is if the Dark Templars came in at the exact moment that he moved out and his cannons weren't done yet. That's the only thing that's really going to make a Protoss hesitate. But assuming that that doesn't happen, which it isn't, then the cannons will guard against a decent number of DTs. And Skillous can focus entirely on the attack, which he will 100% win if he focuses on the attack. He's got the upgrade lead. He's got almost 20 more army supply. He has charge, and Geralt does not. So we don't even see any charge lots right now because we don't need them apparently, but we could even be adding those in. Observer also very safely tucked behind the Stalkers. Goodbye, Immortal. Good lord. So that's not going down anytime soon, and Geralt is just shit out of luck, honestly. 2 disruptors are on the way, so he'll probably wait for them, shoot their shot, and then if they don't hit, he'll probably tap out then. There's always a chance that they will manage to surprise Skillous. Skillous hasn't gotten to the main base to get another scout in a while. Oh no, he actually scouted the robotics bay right there. Okay. So he should figure. He should keep his eye out, keep his blink on cooldown, because he really doesn't need to be reflexively blinking anyways. Oh my god, that is so dangerous. That second disruptor was almost prepared, but not quite, so it only tags 2 stalkers. Not enough to cover what is now a 20 stalker deficit. Yeesh. Yeesh. And Skillous getting a 4th Nexus. I mean, this game is done. It's over. Geralt is dead. You don't get any deader. Oh, he sees that the observer wasn't in location? Kind of is, though. Oh! Good disruptor shot. It still doesn't matter. I would love it to. I'd love to hype this game up. But I can't. Even though Geralt's, I wish good things for him. This game is not a good thing. He just really doesn't want to give up, though. Damn. He's like, I got disruptor tech. If I just freaking get a couple of disruptor shots, let's see what happens. But it's already been decided. I wonder if Geralt's just frustrated how this game went. He did fall behind fairly early. And it probably was very frustrating because we saw the damage that was almost taken. Almost taken. And that would have been huge. Almost Geralt let the oracles kill all his probes, or let 2 adepts in the main, but it was only 1 adept, not 2. And in that sense, I wonder if Geralt looks at that game and is like, I feel like I did everything pretty correct, so why the hell did I lose so badly? It's possible. Geralt wants to know that he meant GG, by the way. I didn't even see that he only typed 1G, because I don't care. Okay, so after a quick caster check, getting to game number 2. Was that 3 overcharges from the same battery? It might have been. It was a long battle. Bottom left of Blackburn, it is Geralt's. Bottom right, it is Skillous. And they have to play on Blackburn. That can be a doozy. Rain was a god. He was very good, but my goodness, PvP was stupid. My goodness. Imagine just getting a bunch of laser giraffes and then shooting at other laser giraffes. PvP back in the day was truly the epitome of Protoss death balls. It was over very quickly, like 1 battle would happen and it'd be over then. They'd be very hesitant to take that battle, so it could be a long game, sure, but once it happened, it happened. And it had a bunch of freaking laser beams. It was just like so Protoss. So Protoss. Especially back in the day when they were 100% very well known as the A-move death ball race. That's what they were assigned. with the Protoss race when they chose Protoss in the first 2 expansions. Congratulations, you're gonna get to a death ball and a move across the map. And I don't care if any of you are gonna come at me with like a, well, you remember parting Blink Stalkers, you know, those required micro, yeah. Alright. Protoss got a million times better with Legacy of the Void. Well, it got a million times better after the Adept thing was figured out. And honestly, even when it was a comical Adept race, it was still more, it was amazing in its own sense, you know? Kind of wanted to return to that. We have Skillous doing what is expected on Blackburn, which is getting a Nexus, and Geralt is doing the unexpected, which is high ground 2-gating. So Skillous, I mean, even though he's being blocked out right now, I'm pretty sure that just means it's good news for Skillous. So I'm really interested in why Geralt did what he did. This is a natural Nexus map. It is. And the complication comes in whether you're actually going to get an Nexus or not, but it's definitely a forward wall map. Natural wall map. And I love that Skillous is now going to block Geralt. I think that's great. If he didn't, then Geralt and him do share timings on the Nexus. But with this, Skillous is going to get a faster Nexus regardless. He has higher technology as well, something that Skillous's probe is still checking in on. This probe being a huge nuisance, by the way. It's scouting everything, it's blocking a natural Nexus, it's getting another scout into the main base. Geralt has been able to do nothing except that proxy pylon, the block pylon on Skillous's natural. It's the only thing he's been able to do to be annoying. Considering that he was the one that went for the 2-gate opener, you'd really hope to be doing something more for the 2 gates. It hasn't affected his Nexus timing tremendously. It still was good for him to block Skillous's. So there's only like a 15-second difference between the two. But I would say that Skillous getting to Oracles and a Twilight Council still even faster than Geralt is a good sign for Skillous. Star Wars shirt reminds me the Obi-Wan show has been great so far. I only watched episode 1, and I liked it. Very nostalgic. But I started watching Stranger Things, and I'm on episode 5 right now. That's pretty good. I definitely like it more than season 2, which was kind of just bad. And I like it more than season 3, which was good, not great. Oh, saved. High ground, thank you. Skillous still, even without this, like, I don't even think he has to go for a Dark Shrine. I'm a little surprised that he is. Well, only so surprised. We saw this exact thing happen in Geralt's first series that we cast for him versus for Jumi, but I'll explain it again in case you missed it. Skillous knows that Geralt should be delaying a Robo. There is no need to go for a Robo in a game like this unless you're worried about Dark Shrine. So a lot of the times we'll see them push it off until at the very least after their 3rd Nexus. Then they'll get the Robo, right? Unless they're suspicious. Now, when I brought that up, Geralt did go for a 2-base Robo. There you have it. So it didn't really matter. It was like, oh, you sure about that, ZombieGrub? You sure you know PvP? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I still do. I still watch a fuck ton of it, and that's just usually what happens. But there is that very real, like, if I know it, then Geralt knows it. Geralt knows that one of his weakest points in this game is his detection. If a Dark Shrine pops up and he is unaware, he will die. So he's going for a pretty safe 2-base Robo. Regardless of any information gathering. He's gotten none since his probe died. And that will save his life. But is it going to mean that he's going to win the game? No, not really. Still think that Skillous having an Oracle scouting around. Oh, only one though, losing the 2nd without killing too many probes. Yeah, anyways. I still like Skillous's position, even though his Dark Templars aren't going to get all the probes in the world. They're already getting enough, in my opinion. They're already getting enough. I think their existence is enough. But 5, 6, 7 probes, maybe. The Observer is just not going to pop out. Yeah. And then a DT at the 3rd base as well. Yeah, they've already done a tremendous amount of damage. This is all good for Skillous. Now up 11 workers. He is behind in the army supply. And that's probably... that's going to delay his 3rd base. He needs to get a higher army supply. Shield battery first? He's going to go for the Nexus. Well... Geralt needs to get some DT protection, and that will take a while. If Geralt could go across the map, he'd have 15 stalkers to 5. That would be good for Geralt, but he can't really do that. You know, he's, well, not being scouted. The second Oracle does die, but he still has to worry about what the DTs are going to do. He's not exactly in a position where he can just kind of willy-nilly throw down 3 cannons to protect him and go for the attack like Skillous did last game. Skillous last game's attack, it worked out really well. He was already saturated and, you know, good economic position. And absolutely had a timing to hit. Not really so for Geralt's. But, ooh, Skillous kind of showing his weakness right there. It's going to bump up to 11 stalkers, but there was no shield battery, and I think this is just straight up a mistake from Skillous. Oh, Geralt, does he know he can push this issue? Hopefully he does. Good block to the Adepts. Geralt does not have a War Prism with this, so it's always going to reduce the kill potential. Don't know where the hell probes are going down again. How did 2 probes go down for Geralt, though? I guess the DT was still in there or something. I don't know, but anyways, they both trade a little bit of probe damage to each other, but it is Skillous staying alive, and that's very important, as that was a weak point for him. But if he's alive, he now is going to have that faster +2. His economy is same, so that's not too big of a deal, but his +2 is a huge heal. So and he's probably going to be able to set up charge soon, too. And Geralt is still dealing with some DT harassments, but no, dealing with it pretty well. Only 1 probe went down. And Skillous, I guess, is going to line up a +2 timing attack here. So a couple of Chronos going to be necessary to hit with the War Prism. But the War Prism, well, it could actually, I mean, 2 things, right? Could just come with the army, posture around, wait for those upgrades, then pull the trigger. It could also just head into the main base. Now the cannons are coming down for Geralt's. So he won't be taking any more DT damage. Takes a 4th base, too. He killed the proxy gateway that Skillous had over there. Alright, so Skillous is going to move out just forward with the War Prism. He was able to win last game with nothing but Blink Stalkers despite having charge. So I guess not really needing charge this time around. Still would want another couple of Chronos on that +2. Yep, he absolutely wants to hit with this upgrade timing. And he's not quite going to find a 2 upgrade difference. He will absolutely find the 1. But now things are getting a little awkward. Geralt on the offensive goes into the main base of Skillous, finds a couple of pylons, going to depower a huge amount of gateways and depower the +2 as well as the charge. But that still puts them at an even count. So the recall happens here for Geralt, and at 23 Stalkers to 21, Geralt did have a lead. So that's a very good moment there for Geralt. Very, very good. That worked out really well for him. 4 Stalkers left in the main base. You're killing a ton of probes as well. And Skillous, yeah, has lost control over this game. Just lost track of where the army was headed. Perhaps if the Oracle was still alive and just parked there, he would have known and would not have taken nearly as much damage. But 20 probes went down. That is huge. We're only getting the technology repowered too. So yes, +2 and charge will finish up here. But still 5 gateways not repowered. Skillous is now in a ton of trouble, man. Can't save the Nexus, it's gone. Gotta cancel it, but with the knowledge of Geralt having his Nexus up and running, that's gotta sting. Skillous is also trying to now get to the robotics bay, but it's gonna be slower than Geralt. And was that an Oracle? Wait, what the fuck? Oh, is it the War Prism? War Prism might have just died. Damn, this really went topsy-turvy. Good attack in the main base. Just, I might have saved Geralt's life. I don't know. I think the attack from Skillous was lining up to be very scary, but with the shield battery overcharge and good blink, I'm not sure it would have been game ending. But now it's just it's flipped the script, man. Skillous doesn't get to do the timing attack that he was powering up to, so now he kind of has to change course, and that's always a bit awkward, as well as doing so when he's behind an entire gold base Nexus. So Skillous knows that he's in trouble. For Geralt, well freaking done. That worked out brilliantly for him. Was able to recall and save his Nexus, not take any probe damage. Now is the faster disruptor, so even though he's still very much behind an entire upgrade, I don't think it's going to matter. Skillous does catch up on the disruptors pretty quickly, though. There's that, there's that, there's that. It's only one robo. Well, there's only one robo working currently for Geralt. Has he not hotkeyed the other one? Well, we'll keep an eye on that. But even though Skillous was later to it, he's already caught up, really. It's now the... It's not only the economic position that's really scary for Skillous. Woo! That was kind of a dangerous blink forward from Geralt. He wasn't sure that there were disruptors behind Skillous' army, but that was alright, that was alright. Geralt's now going for a Dark Shrine of his own. Still powering up those disruptors, still happily mining off of a 4th gold base with some stack defense too. He still has the stronger position. Skillous is now really down in the dumps as far as the economy goes. His 4th base desperately needed. He's oversaturated elsewhere. But he's got the disruptors, he's got the stalker count, he's got the upgrade. +3, just a +1, and oh, jeez Louise, he almost backed into the shot. Oh, but fortunately he did kill the disruptor. Okay. So we'll just calm the freak down. So was Pyrogalos another caster? I don't know. I don't think really ever got confirmed about that. Oh, DTs are gonna come from behind? I don't know if there was a sandwich being attempted or an awkward run by, but they're gonna have to hold their horses. Shield body overcharge on top of the cannon. I don't know if that's... Ah, that's interesting. It seemed inevitable that that was gonna die, but alright then. No matter shield battery or not, it was always gonna be tricky for Geralt to defend that base. He'd have to go down a ramp into disruptor shots, so that's always gonna be a tough time. Oh no, oh my god, there's so many disruptors, holy shit! Skillous just took 2 disruptor shots to the face. I think he also started to miscount how many disruptors there actually were. Good recall there from Geralt, gonna save 2 out of 3 of his disruptors, but the gigantic investment into charge DT happened for both players. And yet it's Geralt who won the disruptor war and had more of an investment into the charge lots and DTs. So they kind of met in the middle, gave each other a kiss, and they were like, all right then, see you later. You know, hold off for that. And Skillous took a bad fight. And his 4th base, right, it might... I mean, pros and cons of a gold base. Skillous does not have as much mining. But he's going to have more dependable mining as time goes on. Well, that would be the case if Geralt didn't already have his 5th base. So this is just sketch. It is sketch. 100% for Skillous, who still is going to have the better upgrades with +1 armor finishing. Geralt didn't even go into +3 attack. But is it going to matter if he takes those disruptor hits to the face? Not so much, so he's got to stop doing that. He's down almost 50 supply, and almost all of it's in the army supply too. Again, upgrades not going to matter nearly as much as those disruptors. So it's going to be a bit of a trick for Skillous to survive. 2 disruptors kind of push off to the side for Geralt, are looking for any backstab. They're making sure they're safe. They're making sure they're killing Skillous' disruptor. Shield body overcharge is going to be used for Skillous, but on top of what, really? There's not that much here for Skillous. Skillous is trying to come back, but from multiple directions. It's turning real awkward real fast, but here he comes. DTs, do you have blink? They do, and they are absolutely going to blink on top of this army. Okay, well, the blink backwards from Geralt means that Skillous is going to hold off on that, clean up the remnants of the blue Protoss of his base, and then just try and buckle down and get back to a good disruptor count. So he saves his base, loses a handful of probes. That's not that big of a deal. The bigger deal was that he was able to actually push Geralt away. And if Geralt had reinforcements, if he had disruptors coming from this side, if he had a warp prism kind of targeted maybe over here, right, then that might have been Geralt's win move. But not quite. So now we're talking about a 20 army supply lead for Geralt. Not as bad. And then, of course, still significantly behind in those upgrades. Which, if they are going to consistently trade out disruptors, absolutely freaking matters, all right? But now Geralt's at 5, 3 of them on the front line. He's going to capture a couple of those warp-in zealots. And, well, the disruptor count's already fairly low. Yeah, easy kill on the last disruptor shot. There come the DTs as well. Geralt is being surrounded, but then Skillous' Stalker army is also being approached by a couple of knifey boys. Those zealots are awfully scary, but the DTs are scarier, man. One disruptor came in to try and help out and was shot down, and Skillous now takes a supply lead for the first time. It feels like quite a few minutes. And it was with the help of those DTs, which didn't die, by the way. So that is huge, okay? Like, if those die, if they blink in, they get the surround, they get the aha moment, but then all of them die, and you don't just straight up win the fight, don't forget it's a huge investment. That is a huge investment into resources. But they did not die, and actually this is still kind of awkward. There's a very small stalker count. Disruptors are having trouble getting the shots. They're also going to need to try and shoot elsewhere. Blink Stalkers doing their job as Skillous takes down every single disruptor. The Blinky boys shaking hands right now. DTs and Stalkers together have given Skillous this lead. And that was very much on purpose. Skillous actually just stopped building disruptors, man. I noticed it in the beginning of the previous fight. I was going to mention it, but got a little topsy-turvy. Now I'll mention it. Skillous is purposefully not getting disruptors. He absolutely still could, and arguably still should have some disruptors, but he is trying to make this mass gateway style work. And he was definitely one of the better players to do this back when it was a more common option, I suppose. There's a real question as to whether this would be the future. If maybe disruptor-based play was going to be like the defensive option versus the offensive, mass expanding, mass gateway army. And then, I don't know exactly what happened. The maps changed, people got better, so on and so forth. And it became kind of decided that both players would always play into disruptors at a certain point in PvP. Skillous is kind of bringing back an old school move on a map that I can't even remember. Not Eternal Empire, but another really defensively minded map. Anyways, it's working out so far. Skillous still not investing in the disruptors, just picking off Geralts. I mean, the challenge here for Skillous is that if he ever miscalculates, if he ever takes a disruptor to the face, if he ever has to back away, if he can't reinforce, because his economy really hasn't been all that great. It's been the one hit a lot of times in this game. Can he defend if Geralt gets across the map? That's one of the bigger questions for the Protoss playing like Skillous is playing. It's like, great, I'm in control, I'm doing all these awesome things, yeah, I can reinforce, all right, cool, and then you're suddenly down 10 Stalkers, you realize you haven't expanded, so you can only replace 6 of them, and then the disruptors of your opponent are now pushing you into your own 4th base. That's when things get tricky for someone in Skillous's position. But here's another surround. Beautiful, beautiful, coming across town with those DTs and Zealots to get this around on top of the Stalkers. The Disruptors had already shot their shot, already been killed by the Stalkers of Skillous as well, and things are still working out so wonderfully for the Red Protoss. Excellent usage of DT Blink, which wasn't nerfed, but as far as this type of play goes with DTs, it hasn't been nerfed enough. It's not necessarily their instant attack that made these types of surrounds good. It's the fact that it's just surrounds. They are forcing... they're forcing the units to actually get chopped up by their scythes. Scythes? Scythes. It's hard to say quickly. Just by blocking them out, right? So yeah, they have, what is it, like half a second delay on their attack? They're still body blocking, they're still getting some shots off, opening up opportunities for Skillous's charge lots and Stalkers to do that damage, and here we have it once again. Not even needing to blink that time, Geralt blinked into Skillous's DTs, so they didn't need to waste that delay time. They just attacked, and Geralt is out of luck. Skillous really managing to turn this one around. He was, I believe, in the beginning ahead, but that blink into the main base from Geralt, it was ballsy and it worked out. It did. But Skillous then brought it back with some really good decision making. An excellent use of the DT blink. Feel filthy saying that, because, you know, beautiful fungals, excellent use of DT blink, same energy, you know what I'm saying? But that is the case. The DTs were used quite well. I mean, he's lost actually quite a few, 30 DTs in the course of this game, but Geralt's also lost 20, and it feels like they haven't done anything in comparison. GG. Skillous takes the 2-0 and continues to be on a hot streak.